as first of all, I think we all are here, and I'd like to say Happy International Women's Day to you all. And as Lavina mentioned, like I'm Parveen Khan, and I'm currently working as a quality practice lead at CFC, which is which specializes in insurance. So today, I want to talk about something really which is close to my heart, this topic. And the topic is the importance of and I want to talk about the importance of mentors and community in tech industry. So as you can see, my topic is I'm going to talk about the power of mentors and community in tech. So before we just start what I'm going to talk about, I'll start with the first with this quote. So this is by Serena Williams. So the success of every woman should be an inspiration to another, we should raise each other up. So I kind of firmly believe in lifting each other up, and I have experienced myself how much it helps to have that support from others. So which is why I kind of started with this quote today. So at this point of time, before I dive into my talk, I would like you to think for a moment if you can remember someone who has supported you or encouraged you or inspired you along the way. So while I go through my story. So I'm just going to share a little story about myself, which is like back in time in 2018, because for me, everything changed since then. So at that point of time, I was a tester working on my own. Like it was about 4 years or 5 years. I was in the testing industry without much guidance because, as I said, I was like the sole tester in the company I was working for. And that was my first job. And yeah, and then I was trying to, so while I was working, right? So I was trying to learn test automation at that point, like trying to think, oh, what's next for me? So let me just get into test automation. So I was trying to search for some resources, some videos, just to see how I can upskill myself in test automation. So I came across one of the talk by Angie Jones, which was about how to get automation included in your definition of done. So it was as I said, it was my first time ever, I'd seen someone speak about the testing related topic at a conference, because before then I've never attended a conference, or I was never part of any community as such, right? And when I watched that talk for the first time, I was inspired, I was completely inspired by the way Angie delivered the whole talk, what she was talking about, and whatnot. And I still remember, it's been years now, but I still remember that when I watched that, I was like, wow, look at her speaking in front of so many people. My attention went back from the automation to the way she was delivering this talk. And at that point, I didn't know about, as I said, wider community or anything to do with public speaking at all. And that video, that talk that I watched, it not just opened up my eyes, to the world of test automation, but it kind of also sparked, my interest, my curiosity within me. I found myself eager to explore more on the not just about the topic of test automation, but also I was trying to look for more speakers who kind of looked like me. And I wanted to find someone just wanted to, because it kind of sparked myself, curiosity, we can talk, people talk in testing related topic as well. So let me find someone who looks like me. I just tried to search and try to look for someone. And I couldn't find anyone. So maybe my search wasn't well enough, or they may be not many more women like me. It could be either of the reasons. It was that moment, that kind of stuck with me, and then I thought, okay, I couldn't find anyone, then why not me? I was like, okay, I couldn't search. When I was searching, I couldn't find anyone. So let me just start. Let me just put myself into, into this speaking journey. then that realization, like, from where I came from, like looking for resources for test automation, going into the into the world of, oh, someone is speaking at the conference, and then me looking for someone who represents me, it just turned out into like a sense of like, inspiration and empowerment. And then I thought, okay, like if there are very few of us already doing it, so let me as well join them. So it was good, but how could I like? My question was like, oh, how could I even do what Angie was doing, right? Like that was the first thought in my head. Like, and then I didn't, because I didn't even know where to start from. Like, what is it about, and what is it even like? How I was completely kind of like, I want to do, but where do I start? Like, whom do I approach? Like, I had no clue, right? And then I kind of started exploring everything all about speaking at conferences, like. And then while I was searching, at that point I found Speakeasy, which is now known as Tech Voices, whose aim was to increase speaker diversity at testing and tech conferences. So they had this form that we need to submit, and you kind of like put yourself forward as a mentee. And when I saw that, I was like, this is it, I'm just going to apply and see if it comes back. And then I straight away applied, and I mentioned about why I would like to speak and why I would like to share my experiences and how Angie inspired me. And yes, this was my literally my expression. Like, it was like, OMG, really? Like, that was my exact reaction when I found out that just within few weeks, uh, that I got two mentors being assigned to me and who would help me in my speaking journey through Speakeasy. It was like, not just one, but two. And guess what? Like, one of them was none other than Angie Jones herself. Like, can you imagine, like, the person who inspired me to, like, think about this whole speaking at conference thing? She was my mentor. Like, it was like kind of like, yeah, I was pretty much exact this expression, and I couldn't believe. And I was like, oh, someone like me, like someone who just started exploring the idea of like, speaking at conferences, and now kind of I had an opportunity to learn from like someone who is best at this field, like one, not one, but two of them. So it's like, and those were Angie and Marit. And having both of them as my mentors in my initial days when I started my speaking journey was like the best thing and the best way to start my speaking journey. And as I said, like both of them had their own unique experiences that they shared with me, where like from Angie as my mentor, she kind of helped me in providing guidance around like how can I refine my speaking skills and how I can share. Like she shared her own experiences of like and insights about how you can like brainstorm, come up with the topics, and how what is the whole process of like coming up with the topic to preparing and presenting. And and at the same time, Marat as well offered me support with like the whole process, like because when you're absolutely new, like this whole thing, right? I kind of, at least I felt like, oh, I'm not capable enough to speak at conferences. Like I doubted myself, thinking like, oh, what kind of topics could I even talk about? Like I don't even have that huge experience at that time. And this it's like this kind of like self-doubt is so common when we first think about speaking, right? But that's where like if you have mentors, like mentors can step in, can help us and guide us. So they helped me build my confidence and gave me some kind of tips and suggestions to come up with topics that could be like, it doesn't have to be like, you might have a lot of people who's already talking about the same topics, but it doesn't have to be limited to certain like it doesn't have to be limited, and you can always share your own experiences from your own perspective in your own story. So that's what I learned. Like that's what kept my like my nerves, like oh, there are already experts talking about the same topic, it's fine, like I can share my own story with my own experiences. So that was really that guidance, that support really helped me. And I kind of like realized that I didn't need to be an expert in everything, like and have a decade of experience to share any kind of valuable insights. So as I said, like I learned that I can always share my own journey, my own unique perspective, and I can speak as well. So that's how it's initial days, right? When you start your journey. So that's the self-doubt, confidence, and like learning about like, how you can go ahead. And after a few months, I was working along with them, trying to like come up with what topic I can give and trying to submit at different conferences. And I was really excited that I got an opportunity to speak at my first ever conference in 2019. And the topic of like a tester survival guide for agile transition. I still remember that because that's my first talk. And it was like, of course, as the first time speaker, it was like pretty excited, but at the same time too overwhelming, too nervous and all that stuff. But I kind of did that. And even better, soon after that, because as part of the whole um, creating my first talk, I tried to submit as many conferences as possible, and I got another opportunity to speak at Agile Testing Days USA, which I was most I would say that making it was like a mark of a debut as an international speaker for me. So I was so super excited, at the same time very nervous, but it was kind of like unbelievable journey for me that kind of began. But without I had a lot of support and guidance from my mentors, which is where I wanted to emphasize this, like how mentors can help you. So without their help, like I think I could have started, but it would have been a very different way. So the way they helped me was like, as I said, from the process of coming up with the topic to creating an abstract. I didn't knew the whole process, like coming up with an creating an abstract and submitting a CFC at CFP, sorry, and practicing and like preparing the whole talk, and it's like it's the whole process, like and this mentorship kind of helped me, and the guidance really helped me a lot. And of course, like I may no longer be actively mentored by them. It was just for the first one talk, but the knowledge, the skills, the advice that I got, that I gained during that time, it kind of like I still use that. I still, every time I try to prepare, like if I'm preparing a new talk, I kind of apply the same learnings even now. So so again, like it's not just, so this mentorship journey, it was short, but that it did not even help me just in my speaking journey, but it also introduced me to amazing communities. Like these were my first two, like Women in Testing, which is a Slack community, and Ministry of Testing. So they kind of introduced me to these communities, and these were my first one. And like these communities, these groups connected me with testers, like who shared their experiences, their ideas, their challenges, which kind of helped me expand my knowledge. Because as I said, like I mentioned, that I had been working alone on my own for like last 4 years. During that time, I didn't even realize how much I was missing out on. So engaging with these communities not just showed me that so many ways, there are so many ways to learn from, but also the importance of networking and giving back to the community. So these kind of like platforms have like become like my go-to, like for learning, for networking, or like for asking away any questions, or asking away any challenges that I have, and also giving back to the community. So I've kind of embraced that opportunity to mentor others as well through different platforms, like ADP list, like, and the mentoring club and the mentor cruise. So now, like as we kind of like we are all celebrating International Women's Day, right? I invite you all to take a moment right now and think about, like as I said, someone who has made a difference in your career, like whether it's your friend, maybe it's your mentor, or even if it's yourself, right? And maybe think of someone who has inspired you, who has helped you, motivated you, or supported you. It could be your mentor or anyone, and maybe you can put it in the chat. And yeah, I think I just wanted to share this little journey of like how, like I got some help and support and uplifting from the mentors and from the community. And this has been my journey. And I wanted to share this because I wanted to emphasize the significance of like support when it's from the community, whether it's mentorship and even if it's a sponsorship, right? So like despite like even though I did not see or like at that point in time, like now things have quite changed, but at that point, like even though I've not seen or I've not met anyone who looked like me or represented me, right, like at that point, during those days, it didn't hold me back, and instead it's not like I still found so much help and support from so many others who lifted me up. So I think, which is why I wanted to take this moment to thank all, so many of them, right? I'm sure like I've missed out a lot of names here, but I wanted to like, had this gratitude to all of those who have inspired me, who has motivated me, who has supported me, like, in this journey, whether knowingly or unknowingly. So I just created this word cloud to represent their names. I'm sure, like, as I said, I'm missing a lot of them, but I've tried my best to keep everyone here. So yeah, thank you everyone. Thank you so much for joining and thank you for listening me. So yeah, let's continue to uplift and inspire each other.
Amazing, Parveen. A beautiful message, and something that a lot of women may need as well is what I've experienced speaking to some women who are unsure about things, especially about public speaking, actually. So amazing talk. And I hope there were loads of nuggets to take away from your talk as well, but we'll have some questions towards the end. Even I've written down some questions. Thank you so much, Parveen.
Thank you so much.
Perfect.
I'll stop my screen share now.
Okay, so on to our next speaker, which is Andy Shaw. Andy is a diversity and inclusion officer for South Yorkshire branch in BCS, sorry. He is also the editor of the online magazine at BCS. You can have a look. There's a new issue that has been posted this week, so feel free to have a read. And encourages loads of females on the STEM progression as well. So I'll invite Andy on the stage.
Thank you. Thank you, Valina. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak today as well. And Parveen, your presentation was fantastic as well. So I hope that I'm just as good. And Rafaela, I'm looking forward to seeing your presentation after mine as well. So I'm going to share. I've prepared some slides, so I'm going to share my screen as well. So I'm yeah, can you hear me now? I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. There, but technology. So I'm just gonna try again. So good. Can everyone see the slides?
Yes.
Awesome, fantastic. So I'm just gonna share. Just gonna wide screen. So if everyone can see the slides, then I shall begin. So
yes,
I'm Andy Shaw, as Lavina has mentioned. I am a diversity inclusion officer for the South Yorkshire British Computer Society branch. And I'm also the editor of the Tester magazine as well, which I have been for 4 years as well. I took over the magazine because I wanted to promote diversity within the testing community. And I wanted everybody from all walks of life, regardless of gender, the backgrounds, to gain equal opportunities in developing careers in testing, and deliberately make the magazine so it gets sort of insights from people from all walks of life, not just people who are experts in the field, but people who have just started careers in testing as well. So I just wanted to make it inclusive, because when you have the diversity, everybody wins, not just in tech, but in all walks of life. But I'm going to focus on testing today anyway. So I've been in organisations which have had a lack of diversity, and that is not good because there's a lack of innovative products because people seem to sort of think the same methods and the same ways and the same ideas of stuff, and it sort of stifles creativity because it gets to this fatal mindset of we've always done it this way. Why change it? Why make changes now? The ideas just get very old hat and they don't get any new ideas or new blood coming in as well, and it just sort of creates stagnancy within organizations as well, and doesn't look at other perspectives of how ideas can be developed and how software should be tested. And it also prevents growth as well because people who are thinking the same things, doing not sort of looking at other ideas, and as well just not sort of challenging what there is or not sort of getting a different perspective as well. So I actually worked in an organization once where it was just mainly sort of males doing development and software as well. It wasn't good because it just meant that they had just this similar ideas of how to do stuff, and new ideas weren't welcome. And it's never good. Also, as well, a lack of diversity can cost businesses a lot of money as well. The gender gap is estimated to cost the UK £150 billion by 2025, so next year. That is actually quite scary. So it shows the need for why we need diversity within tech and diversity within testing as well. So diversity matters really a considerable. It's essential as well for the development of organisations, for the development for all of us as well. So diversity matters as well because it promotes creativity as well. So, for example, Lavina, if you and myself are working on a testing project as well, between the two of us, as well as other people as well, we'd get ideas as to how different ideas of how to test specific systems as well. But we could also be creative about it as well because we'd look at the software from different perspectives. It also improves society as well because if you include more people's ideas, for example, people who are neurodivergent, people who say are partially sighted as well, because you're developing software and web-based systems and mobile systems as well, which are more accessible and encourages more people to use your product as well. So it improves society as well, and it inspires other organizations to follow suit. It also helps you to stay competitive as well because you have different you've got different ideas, different viewpoints as well, which take it into account as well to help shape how software should be tested. Also, as well, people who work in more diverse organizations, it promotes more happiness and well-being as well. I've worked in some organizations which have been diverse as well, and they've been really, really good places to work because everybody brings something to the table. Everybody has a different viewpoint as well, which they can bring as well. You also learn from other people as well and help prevent unconscious bias, and so get new ways of testing things and new ideas as well, which is brilliant. It also increases your top talent as well within an organization and encourages people to do better as well. It also attracts more people as well, and if you're seen as an organization which is more diverse and more inclusive, I mean, I'm not teaching, I'm not trying to say what people already know already, but I like diverse organizations encourage more people as well. I certainly find sort of it would encourage more people to join as well. Also, as well, it affects your bottom line. If you're diverse as well, it can help generate revenue for your organization. It helps more people to want to use your products as well. It also encourages people who are looking to develop their careers to actually develop the careers of your organization as well. So diversity is essential. Over the years as well, there has been some amazing women who I've worked with and who I've known as well, who've made excellent testers as well. So Parveen and Rafaela, you both are fantastic testers. And we've also got fantastic testers like Rosie Sherry, Lisa Crispin, Lavina, Beth, Joy, and a lot of other testers as well, including Gwen Diagram, Dot Graham as well, who is a fantastic tester, automation tester, and who I have actually learned from as well. And she was one person who actually inspired me. So one lady I really admire in testing is Grace Hopper, and she worked on she worked on testing the software for NASA. But women in testing as well bring so much to the table as well. So a lot of the great collaborators as well, they can bring new ideas to the table, and they can also discuss ideas and how to make them work. They're very strong communicators as well. And I think from the female testers I've worked with as well, I've found out that a lot of them bring some great ideas. I can communicate them effectively as well. Even if I may not always agree, they'll give some good reasons and some good viewpoints as well, which I can actually learn from as well, and also brings fresh perspectives and ideas. Working just in a male-only testing team wouldn't always be a great idea, because I think that women bring bring ideas which people like myself may have overlooked or may not have considered as well. So women are also would be great testers because of bringing fresh perspectives and ideas. Also as well, they've got really good meticulous attention to detail as well, and they'll focus on a lot more some user-friendly tests as well, but also the steps in which to implement them as well. So any tester can read the test scripts, understand them, and run tests effectively as well. Also as well, a lot of female testers I know have actually written comprehensive test scripts, and the testing has been absolutely thorough as well, which has helped me to develop myself as a tester as well. So there are a number of ways women can develop careers in testing as well. And one thing I have done since I started getting involved with BCS just over 10 years ago is I've actually worked as an ally to encourage women into tech as well as testing as well. So one thing, some advice I would give as well to encourage women to develop careers in testing, because it is a really great career, and you've got so many great testers as well. So networking is really good. There's the British Computer Society SIGIS conference in June, which I'm also going to be doing a talk at as well, where you can learn from some fantastic speakers and network with people to sort of be inspired and learn how they develop their careers as well. Also, you have the Testing Peers Conference, which is taking place on the 14th of March. You've also got the Ministry of Testing networking events, and you've also got other testing networking events around the UK as well. I would suggest, I'd recommend, though they can be in person or online as well, depending on your circumstances. I would recommend you attend the networking events, because you'll meet other people within your field who've developed careers and who you can also learn from, and they're more than happy to share their advice and how to develop careers in testing as well. Also, as well, Parveen mentioned this in her talk as well, and I fully agree. Mentoring as well. So find somebody who will mentor you as well. So there's a lot of great testers out there as well. So speak to them, mentor them as well, and they can give advice about how you can develop your career, how you can focus on a specific area of testing. For example, if you wanted to focus on automated testing, how to focus on that, and how to do coding. If you wanted to try accessibility testing, identify somebody who is good at that and asking them to mentor and give you advice. The opportunities are endless as well. Also mentoring other people as well, once you've developed your career as well, to help them develop their careers as well, is also great as well, because I've mentored people before, but at the same time as well, I'm equally learning from them as what they are from me. Also as well, there's a female testing boot camp as well for women who want to develop the careers in testing. I think it's run by the organisation QA, but I can send a link to it after this talk, if I help anybody. But that gives insights into that gives sort of a course and sort of skills in which women can develop their careers in testing as well. So they've got they've got something to help them when they're looking for their first role. Also as well, upskilling and development as well. So if you're wanting to develop a career in testing, looking at different skills, for example, DevOps, doing some practical manual testing as well on websites, for example. When I first developed my career as a tester, I actually started playing around with websites and testing them to sort of see how I could actually do as well. Also as well, look at different types of testing as well. So you could look at manual testing if you wanted to try accessibility testing, or for example, cross-browser testing. They're very good skills to have as well, and it can show you how you look for different things on specific browsers as an example. Also as well, there's so many great role models in testing as well, and a lot of them are on this call as well. So again, Parveen and Rafaela, you're both excellent role models as well. The same with Lisa Crispin, Lavina, Joy, Beth. You've also got really good ones like Gwen Diagram, Rosie Sherry, Nicola Martin, who is a fantastic, who is doing some really amazing stuff as well, and they're people who can inspire as well, but also great to learn from them as well. So I've wanted to act as an ally and I'm acting as an ally to help encourage women to develop careers as testers, as well as the tech industry as well. I think it's important as well, because when we increase diversity and inclusion, everybody wins. Our products become so much better. The workplace is an even better place to work as well, because you're including other people's viewpoints as well. There's much more collaboration, and it's much more of an open culture as well. So some ways in which we can act like allies as well. So we want to get rid of, unfortunately there's still a lot of unconscious bias in organizations and societies as well. So I don't want, and it's also sort of trying to challenge the stereotype of being, oh, IT is a man's world, or it's a manly culture, and we've just got, and we just have to accept it, and we can't change it. It's been ingrained for so many years. That's got to stop. I don't want the stereotypes of, oh, women who are sort of like leaders are seen as bossy, whereas men who are seen as leaders, that's okay. We want to challenge that as well, and uplift people as well, and create a workplace, and create a culture where it's inclusion as well. Half of the managers I've had in my tech career have been female as well, and a lot of them have been fantastic people to work with as well, because they've been fair, they've been understanding. I've also learned from a lot of them as well, and they've helped me develop my career, not just as a tester, but somebody in tech as well. Also as well, celebrating women, celebrating achievements as well. So for example, the Computer Weekly's women in tech, outstanding women in tech tech sort of report that they do each year as well. We've had some really celebrating things, but celebrating women within your teams for the great work that they've done. Lavina's done really good work with accessibility testing as well, which is fantastic, and it's something I certainly will learn from as well. Beth Clark and Nicola Martin were featured in the BCS the Computer Weekly women who help women's as well as really good role models as well. Also as well, mentorship as well. So if we help mentor them as well, and if you're looking for a mentor as well, you've got some really great people in testing as well who will be happy to help as well, and learn from as well. So mentoring women who are wanting to develop careers in testing, giving them advice of how they can develop the careers, but also learning from them as well. Although a lot of organizations say that management need to do this, it does not have to just need to just promote it. It doesn't have to just, the book doesn't have to just lie with them. I also think a bottom-up approach as well, where we can act as allies, and we can speak out as well if things aren't right, to create a more inclusive workforce as well. So any sort of thing which creates an intimidating environment, call it out, but also act as but also by working there as well, setting an example of how we can all act as allies to women who want to develop careers in testing. When I first acted as an ally to encourage women into tech, I got some backlash from people. And I just thought at the end of the day, I'm not interested in what you say. I'm interested in making a difference. And eventually people started to listen. People started to listen, and people started to be aware that diversity is important, and as well speaking up as well. So speaking up to make your policies more inclusive, and making sure that making sure that women are included in the decision process as well. If you encourage more women into testing as well, to actually sort of make the environment better for them, and actually encourage them to stay within your organization. For example, promoting flexible working, promoting a safe environment, which is essential for everybody, because nobody wants to work in an environment which is hostile or intimidating. And as well making the workplace more inclusive, an environment as well, learning from different people as well, and encouraging everybody to have their say. So allyship is everyone's responsibility. It shouldn't just be left to the people at the top, the management. It should also be we also have a part to play as well. Organizations as well have also got ways of how we can also promote diversity in tech. So having role models as well, which I've mentioned before as well, but I'm going to say it again, having some great role models within testing as well, and within your organizations, who people can look up to and people can be inspired by. Also creating a safe environment as well, so everybody feels that they can work in a safe environment, that they don't feel intimidating, and that the environment is not harassing or sort of unfriendly in any way. Being transparent as well, so making sure that decisions are transparent as well, and making sure that honesty, people being honest as well. Also fair treatment as well, so don't just promote somebody just because and overlook other people, particularly women or people from other backgrounds as well. Making sure that your policies are fair as well, and don't just be biased towards men. Also promoting different opportunities as well within your organization for women as well, to develop themselves as well, and making sure taking account of any needs as well, to make your policies more inclusive. Also as well, the company culture is also important as well. Making sure that your company culture is an inclusive one, it's fair, that despite that any sort of derogatory culture, depending on what organization you're in, is called out as well, and the attitudes are changed as well. And again, it's not just up to the top management, to the top people at the top or management to action this. We can all play a part. So if you see some banter, for example, which is quite offensive, call it out. If you think that the organization is not as inclusive of what it can be, find a way of making it inclusive. Another area which I'd like to talk about as well is mental health as well. And as some of you may know as well, I do a lot of talks around mental health. So today I'm just focusing on women and mental health as well. So a lot of the environment in some organizations can be fast-paced as well. And yes, fast-paced means that projects get out quicker and faster, and scrum sprints get completed faster as well. It's not always good if it's fast-paced and people need time to do the work or to understand things or to ask questions as well. Also as well, some women have can have burnout in the roles as well, because sometimes the work has been quite highly pressurized, and it's not just women, men as well. It can be pressurized, and it can cause people to question the roles and consider that the environment is not best suited for them. Also as well, some roles, if you're working from home, or if you're trying to test software or even develop it, it can result in isolation as well, which promotes poor mental health. Also as well, I've met a lot of women I know have had imposter syndrome as well, where they're thinking they're not sure if they can do a specific role. They're not sure if they can take on an extra piece of work. I've been in that situation myself. So ways of managing mental health is sort of a lot of organizations now are having the hybrid roles as well, to make sure that and hopefully roles become hybrid as well, but they're taken to needs of people's health as well. But when you're looking for your next role, or when you're looking for your first role, find an organization which is going to work for you as well, and nurture you as well. If you need a hybrid role, but your role to be hybrid, where you're not always working in the office, but you're working at home as well, and being flexible as well around your needs as well. That'll help as well, because it will help you. It will help with your well-being, and it will take any needs into account. Also as well, having a balance between work and life as well. So you're balancing your work, and you're also sort of balancing your work with life as well. It's like running a car engine. You can't just run a car engine without filling it up with petrol, or use a computer without some downtime. Also as well, you're doing great, and the testing career would be great. It is great for women to do as well. Right to what I do as well is if at work as well, I'll have a feel good folder as well. So any accomplishments I make as well, I achieve as well, I'll sort of create a feel good sort of file as well. So I'll look at it to look at the achievements I've accomplished as well. And I advise that you can do that as well. Also as well, if you're struggling, and if you're finding things tricky, or if you need help with anything, open up. It's not always easy to do, and I've been guilty of not doing this myself as well, but open up and be honest. If you've got a really heavy workload, you speak to somebody who may be able to help balance your workload or reduce your workload as well. I've done that before as well, and that's also helped me. But it's being honest and being honest with yourself. Don't bottle it up. Your mental health is very, very important, and your well-being as well. And we want to make a society where everybody feels included, but also that your well-being is taken into account. So I've got some source of information which I'm going to share with you all after this event as well. And I'd like to say that diversity and inclusion is important, and women in tech really do bring, and testing really do bring bring so much to the table as well, and add value as well. I've met a lot of female testers as well who've been fantastic as well, and I'm interested in meeting the new generation as well. So I'm going to continue to act as an ally to all of you as well. And if there's any ways in which I can help you all as well, please let me know, because I work for all of you, I work for all of you as well. So I'm here to help whenever you need me. But thank you for listening to the presentation, and I hope you've enjoyed it.
Thank you so much, Andy, and thank you for support. To offer your support as well to us, which is really kind. And
Thank you.
of course, many people might be up for that as well. So that's really, really good.
No
Thank you
problem.
so much, Andy. I was going to say
Welcome.
you can feel free to post your links if you like, one by one on the chat.
Okay.
Maybe
Yeah, sure.
people can just open it on the tabs and have them saved.
Yeah,
So
I can do that.
yeah,
No
perfect.
problem. Cool.
Thank you so much. On to
No
our
problem.
next speaker then. Excuse my baby crying in the background. We've got Rafaela Azevedo, who has started her career 16 years ago. She talks about all things QA, test automation, blockchain, and Web3. She's also been a Tech Women Award winner, which is really interesting to know, and recently has started her own gig, helping junior tech talent gain experience and build their portfolio. So welcome, Rafaela, and whenever you're ready, we can get started.
Hello, cool. I'm sharing. Is that good?
Yes, perfect.
Cool. So yeah, to be honest, I think my talk is gonna be kind of a bit of what was said already, but more in a personal level. So by the end of the talk, you probably know a lot about my personal life, which is great. I love to do that. But yeah, I have 16 years experience in tech. I spent more in QA and test automation, strategy, architecture, and leadership. I have worked in small startups and big corporations as well. So as you can imagine, I played. Sorry?
Pitch my talk, yeah.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I have played like
question and answer thing, but you can put your addition.
what there are questions. Oh, okay, cool. I'm not like checking the chat, so I don't know. I'm just like checking the slides. But yeah, and then as you can imagine, I play many different roles. So not only QA, but also software developer, DevOps as well. And I'm actually from Brazil. It's a coastal city called Santos. If you like football, probably not, because it's not something that I like as well. I don't judge anybody, but if you like it, then you probably know and you heard about Robinho and Neymar and Pelé, which they come from my hometown. So yeah, and there is a picture of my I love it. It is. I really miss that hometown because seaside town. I'm in London now. So I moved it 10 years ago. Rescued my dog, and yeah, here I am. So whoop. A bit about me. Again, is just well, I recently got this Tech Woman Award, as is like a recognition of all the sharing my knowledge and my experience online. I have started doing talks, I think was during the pandemic, but before that I had a blog. So I still have the blog. So I start blogging and posting about everything that I learned since 2011. And I recently created this Web3 test community as well, just to bring more people, in the Web3 and blockchain area to share their knowledge there. I also became a STEM ambassador some years ago, which is again bringing more people, especially students, to the tech area, STEM area, but especially in tech because I'm in tech. I'm also instructor at Test Automation University, and I recently went to this incubator last year, and I started my own startup, which is again junior helping people to come to tech, but more specifically like junior developers into Web3 and blockchain. But soon we will expand to Web2 and AI as well. And just a bit about me, my personal view, this really played a big role and like really important for me. It's and I think is something that everybody should have a bit. You know, we are forever learners. We are all in this life learning a lot. If it's not like in tech, but you know, in tech skills, soft skills. And I don't think there is such a thing as humiliation, because independent of the age that you have, you're always learning until the end. So don't think that, oh, I'm too old or I'm too young or whatever, is because we have this kind of society rules that we need to follow sometimes. And this really doesn't work like that. You know, everybody that we have our own journey basically. So don't judge yourself that much as well. Try to be really open-minded about others' perspective. You are always learning from that as well. And it's the way to go. You just like open your mind, and then you don't stay in your own bubble. And fail fast, so you learn fast as well. So I have been living in the fast lane for all my life. I think it's better to live failing and going forward than just regret never trying something. So, you know, sometimes, yeah, of course, I regret about something, but in the end of the day, it's like something that I can take from there, which is usually a lesson. Also my family, they played a big role, big like thing, and had a lot of impact in my life. So basically all my family, they are in tech. My dad, he used to be a COBOL developer, and my mom as well. And then my dad, he opened his own business in software consultancy, but also helping, you know, teaching people to use, you know, personal computer PCs. At the time, it was just like teaching them how to turn on, turn off, or use the mouse, and like really, really basic things. And my mom, she was a teacher in tech as well after, but for kids and teenagers. So these really played a really big thing for me. And you can see that I'm like down in the bottom of the slide, but my sister is on the top with the dog, which was our first dog. But yeah, because of this, my dad, he started teaching me how to code when I was 6. And it was an audio language clipper. But as you can see now, going back to my personality, my sister, she had the same environment and kind of the same influence. But even if it is, she didn't go for tech. She studied biology, which was another kind of influence that we had from our family. We were always like in the middle of the nature and with like pets and animals in general. And it's still in the STEM area, but yeah, she didn't go for tech. And also another big influence that I had was from my mom. I mean, both of them, of course, but my mom, she was, I know that we were talking about having mentors and people to inspire us. So basically my mom was this person from the beginning. Even though I was a bit of a rebel, that's part of my personality, and I didn't agree with her about many things. Nowadays, and maybe a bit after, I really look back and I see that, you know, after they got divorced, my mom was the only one like taking care of the kids and raising me and my sister. And then she had to, you know, had 3 jobs because my dad, he was not supporting. So she was like my mentor and my inspiration to just go forward and, you know, just do whatever it takes to reach your goals. So again, my personality also played a big thing, and sometimes, you know, in the society we just feel like we need to follow this path, but when you see you are more like into other kind of activities, for example, I never liked to play with dolls. I was more into racing cars, and also fix things. So, you know, looking back, I knew for sure that I was not gonna work with like maybe people and yeah, these kind of things. It was not really my interest, and also not my strength and my strongest skills. So I was more into like things and fixing things and figuring out, opening up, and try to see how things work. Um, and yeah, I always like to challenge myself. So since the beginning, if there was something that I didn't know, I just like try to go, and that's one of the reasons why I always had an argument with my mom, because my mom was more like protective, and I was like, no, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna try. And um I every time that I see that there is a friend that needs a bit of a push because he's not sure about doing something, I just go like, just, you know, go and try, because I know that I didn't have that much when I was a kid, but then when you are growing up, I think you start to feel a bit more afraid of trying things. But I still have this inside of me, basically. Yeah, and because of my personality, I always ignore, you know, the gender rules. So, you know, all these things that are, you know, there are not too many women here, or, you know, especially like martial arts and Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, or playing drums. I always try to go for exactly the things that nobody is going, or not too many people are going. So I don't know. Again, it's part of the challenge mindset I have, but it's really always rewarding. I always like learn something. Of course, sometimes I don't follow all the things. For example, I don't do Muay Thai anymore, but it's always something that you learn, you know, during the path, and just trying and see what works for you is the best thing to figure out as well. As long as you are not harming others. So even when I was doing jiu-jitsu, well, I still do, or when I was doing Muay Thai, never harmed anybody. Everything was like safe. So yeah, my career path was a bit different as well. So because I had this influence from both of my parents, I started coding, I think was when I was 6. But when I was a teenager, I was like more into creating blogs and websites. So I thought I was gonna be a web developer, and a front-end developer or back-end developer. But after I got this internship in QA, because it was my interest there, I actually thought, you know what, I actually like this. I didn't like manual QA because I always thought, oh, this is boring. You know, again, you know, I was in the beginning and I didn't know all the other things that you need to know to actually do like proper manual QA, like, you know, critical thinking and learning about all the overview. I was maybe 17. So for me, it was just like repetition, and that was really boring. And then after I got this entrance job, that was something that I thought, you know what, I really want to try something else like coding, which is something that I always liked. So I started to push myself to learning test automation. And then I got this job in another city that was like, it was really, really far. It was like Brighton to London. So I had to wake up 4 a.m. and I was going back to my house was maybe 11 p.m. because we had to like go, and it was like a trip every day. And then I took the job, and then I thought, you know what, nothing is forever as well. I'm gonna learn a lot from this. So I just did, like, was a bit of a sacrifice for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, but this really helped me to get where I am. I don't regret, because when you're young, you also have like loads of energy. I don't know if I would be able to do this now. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I was learning a lot, and also the blog, sharing my experience, also helped other people as well. Even though in the beginning I was doing this blog just for myself because I have bad memory. So I thought, every time that I'm learning something and I do once, then I go to another project and then I need to remember everything. I was just checking my blog and seeing what I did in the past, but in the end it was helping others. And this was something that now I see that was, actually is more rewarding when you are helping others than only yourself, of course. So yeah, my journey was a bit like not straightforward. And now I have the startup, so it's being like, let's try, why not? So yeah, as I said, this is the first job. Basically, you can see it was actually quite good in terms of men and women in the company. We had like 3 developers that were just women, and I think in QA we had more women. Actually, everybody in QA was woman. So I didn't see that much difference in gender inequality in that job, but this was a small startup as well. And it was really important because my first manager, she was a woman, and she was like giving me a lot of support. So this made a lot of difference as well when I was like going further and learning the test automation of this. And this is actually my blog, just a screenshot of that. And I remember that when I was creating, I had a friend that he was saying, "Oh, Rafa, you shouldn't do that because people are gonna judge you." And then, he was really afraid. He had his own like fears, and I agree, everybody has, but that was a bit of a like, oh, Jesus Christ, that issue, people are gonna judge me, and I was doing for myself actually. So I think that's why I continued anyway. But people are gonna judge you anyway, so it's just do it. Sometimes you just do it for yourself, not even for others. But in the end, I actually got more positive feedback, and even the negative feedback was something that was helping me to learn or get out of my comfort zone. And it was I kind of converted the negative feedback to a constructive one, and I pushed myself to learn something. So I always think there is something positive to take from any kind of situation. And yeah, this was my last job in Brazil. So as you can see, this was completely different from my first job. I'm between this guy with the Batman shirt and the guy with the glasses. I don't know if you can see. And there is just another girl in the picture. So this was the tech area, basically, the whole tech area. And it was 2 women. And this was when I was the leader of the test automation. So as you can imagine, just men and me. But it was actually really good. I learned a lot. I learned how to be really aggressive, which is something that I had to tame after when I came here in London, because there is this cultural difference as well that I had to learn. So for me, it was learning after on top of learning, and also like in terms of soft skills that I had to kind of find the balance, because before I had to be a bit more aggressive, and now I feel like I'm a bit more soft, maybe too much sometimes. So I'm trying to still find the balance with the whole team that I have now. And yeah, basically, well, you probably didn't count, but 46 men and 2 women. And being the youngest as well, it doesn't help. So it's like playing a video game in the hard difficulty. And also, especially if you have like older generations, it definitely doesn't help. You go to the room and everybody's already looking at you, and you kind of need to bypass this obstacle a bit more than the other guys, I would say. So yeah, it is a bit hard, but it's also motivating because I learn a lot. Again, everything is about learning, right? I learn a lot about the resilience and determination that I've definitely required to break through these extra barriers that I had. And I have some data here, really nice to see, because we know that things are getting better, but at the same time, if you check the data, 5% of CEOs are women, only 5%. And when you go to tech, senior software engineer roles, it's just 1 to 5%. And computer science degrees is a bit better. So I think is getting better, but where the senior roles and the leadership roles, they are still lacking a lot. But one thing that helps a lot, and everybody said, is basically surrounding yourself with people that want to see you grow and motivates you and support you, because this makes a massive difference. Sometimes you work in a place that they have loads of money, and I had some bad experience as well. I don't think many people say about that, but we keep saying about supporting each other and all of that. And I have worked in a place that actually was the other woman that was being super negative towards me. And I thought, God, Jesus Christ, we are kind of in the same team, right? We are not too many. And that was a bit of again, another obstacle that I had to go through. So yeah, we keep saying that we definitely should support each other, because this is really, really important. And I think we should, just make sure that we are not fighting with each other. There is space for everybody, basically. Learnings, don't regret, persist on things, having discipline to find your path. It can be lonely sometimes, but you will grow from it. You don't need to what everything else is doing. Like our moms, they say, sorry, my dog is she's trying to give me her toy. Sorry. So yeah, you are not everybody. There are no rules to follow. Just as long as you are not doing anything bad for others, that is fine. Also the support group, again, surround yourself with people that will support you when you have your own negative thoughts. I had this friend of mine, he was really important for me when I was going for just a senior QA test automation engineer to a leadership position. I remember that was a small startup again, and I was joining to create the whole QA area from the scratch. And it was me and more like 2 people. And I told him, oh my God, I don't know if I'm prepared to do that. But he said, Rafa, you're capable. No, go, you can do it. And even if he didn't really believe in that, he kind of gave the push, and then I did. And I felt I was not super prepared because I never done this kind of thing before. I never created a full QA area from the scratch, but I just jumped in, and in the end of the day, everything worked out. I kind of learn things on the go, and sometimes it is what it is, and sometimes you don't know something before, but just because you put some effort and discipline and dedication because you want to learn from there, or you need to push yourself, you just everything flows. And learnings, face our fears. So again, having this help from my friend was really useful. But I try to get this mindset, even though I don't, if I don't have this from friends, for example, I try to be more self-sustainable. So basically I always put in my mind, you know what, it's good to have a backup plan, create a strategy and deadlines, and if you fail, you can just go back and do whatever you were doing before, or find another job, or whatever it was, whatever is your backup plan. But just do and try. We only have one life. For example, I hate public speaking, and I used to get really physical ill about it, but I keep pushing myself, and I definitely got much better. I used to like, shake and everything, have headaches and all. And yeah, positive outlook of the mistakes. So even when you think you fail, there's always something good to learn about them. Take care of yourself, help others, really important. There's nothing more rewarding than actually you giving back to the community that helped you as well, especially the ones that are in the beginning. Try to be self-sustainable and independent, and surround yourself with really supportive people. And the last thing to say is basically don't wait for others to do things for you. Just go and do yourself. Again, we only live one life, and I think that's it. Yes, I kind of got a bit more than what I expected. But if you want to connect, these are my links. All my social medias are on the link tree, and also my blog and my startup website. And yeah, that's it. I finished, Lavinia.
Thank you so much, Rafaela.
No worries.
Amazing talk, and again, very inspirational as well. Okay, this brings us to the Q&A. So it would be really good if you can start posting some questions, and I can get started first, actually. I wanted to ask all three of you, what is the one tip that you would give today for anyone out there who is struggling to understand whether software testing is for them or not? So if we get started with Parveen.
Okay, so it's like more to understand whether the software testing is good for them or not, right? Yeah. I think it like it depends, right? Like if you're moving in, or if you're already into the software testing and you're deciding upon this, right? It's like if you don't feel like you kind of like you have that passion, like if you don't find it interesting, maybe this is where I feel like maybe try to first, before even deciding to move out of it, just try to first join, like as I said in my talk, right? Maybe network with people and try to join the community so that you kind of understand more, like you get some more exposure. And then if you still feel like, oh, this is not for you, then definitely you can move on. But before, like I think that's something that I would definitely say, that try to join the communities, try to interact with different people, try to get that exposure, and see what is lacking, like what is it making you this way. And as I said in my talk as well, right, like there are so many I think back in, like I know I feel like it's pretty long time ago, but those days I think there was less exposure. Like I didn't even now you have so many free resources and free, like sites where you can find mentors whom you can talk, like you can just those interactions might spike your, like spark like some interest. So I think I would this would be my advice, like if anyone is trying to decide who is like within the testing or finding interest or trying to move out. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Parveen. Very, very interesting. Andy, what would you sort of suggest?
Good question. So I'm just trying to think of a good answer. I would suggest as well, if you're looking for a career in testing, what I'd do is look at what actually interests you as well, and what you can learn from it as well. Because testing, there's so much out there as well, which you can learn. So it's a completely different industry in itself. So I would say look at the different types of testing around as well. Play around with different websites or mobile systems or mobile softwares, or even sort of games and stuff as well, and just sort of play around with it. See how you can break it as well. Also, I agree with Parveen as well. Network as well, and speak to people as well about how they develop their careers, but also how interesting did we find it as well, and if there's any specific things which you like as well. So if you like to if you're interested in coding, automation might be a good thing for you, as a good area to go down as well. So it is like a whole I mean, when I first looked at software testing, I just thought this was a great area because it was like an adventure, really. There's so many places and so many types of testing to explore as well. So but make sure as well, find something in testing that you're actually going to enjoy as well. If you're creative, it's a great industry to get into. That's one thing I like about I like testing as well. Anything which is creative is really good. I hope that helps.
No, 100%. Great
Thank you.
information there. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Andy. And over to you, Rafaela. What sort of information would you sort of help people out there who are struggling to see if software testing is for them?
Well, I had the same problem. So basically, I thought, when I joined, QA was not my first option. But then when I was learning about and doing, I think this is the right way to actually see if it is for you or not. So just go and do it and try to learn,
I think yours
with
is ready in a minute.
with the network. That helps a lot, because then you have other experience. They can tell you how it is. But if you can kind of do a kind of a play about and try to simulate a QA role by yourself in your own free time, that would be great. It would save some kind of experience and trial and error. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So I have one question here. It's from Noza. I moved to the UK a year ago to join my husband. I have been looking for a job as a business analyst since then, but I still didn't get any opportunity. She asks, any recommendations how to find and reach out to mentors who can help and guide me in this journey? Who would like to take this question?
I can take if so. Yeah. So yeah, funny. I have a friend that she had the same. Actually, she was a business analyst in Brazil and she came to UK and she was not finding a job as business analyst. So maybe you can try what she did and work it. She went for QA and she has a job. Of course, sometimes you can just like do it and it's not gonna be your first option. But then you can just use this as an entrance door as well and get network and actually ask from this company to find a job in the company as a business analyst as you want. I think this was the question, right? Find and reach out mentors. Well, I don't know. There are some like websites that you can find, but network is definitely important. Meetups as well. I think there's one called Mentor Cruise. You can have a look. You can have a look on there as well.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I was also going to say sometimes recruiters in London do these events as well in their company. So it's a good chance to go and ask what is available. I know many people get worried, especially around the January to March time. The market's really slow in terms of jobs. So don't worry, it will pick up, but it's just the timing, it seems a bit off right now. But yeah, definitely be part of meetups and everything just to help you, Noza. Perfect.
thank you.
I think Suman has a question. Go for it, Suman.
Not a question. And I know they're asking questions to the speakers, but I thought, I'll chip in. So when I moved to UK, and that time I had 10 years of experience and I couldn't find a job in testing industry. And it was so frustrating because I had skills. And there were so many recruiters told me you don't have a UK testing experience. So what I did that time was I did some like cross open source kind of tools you can do maybe like a business analyst role on Upwork or Fiverr at that because I did something on like a Past Brains. I think it was a company there where I did like a couple of weeks of project, added that on my CV and then just like line opened out for me. So some maybe try something like this.
Yeah. Also for mentoring as well, if for anyone who's a BCS as well, the BCS has a mentoring page as well where you can either search for a mentor depending on what role you're doing, whether it's software development, software testing, cybersecurity, business analysis, and you've also got mentors as well who say that what they're looking for mentees as well. So I've used that service as well, and I've had a few people reach out to me as a mentor before. So you can discuss the mentorship arrangement, for example, if you're going to meet in person or online as well, and as well, it's good as well because you can sort of find what kind of mentor you're looking for, entry level or a junior or a mid-career level like myself, or a senior career who wants to try senior stage person in the career as well, who wants to sort of try and develop a new area, a new skill, for example, or try part of a new industry to help them develop even further. So that's another area as well which I'd recommend.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Angie. Should I be a member of BCS if I want to have a mentor?
Sorry.
Uh,
What
did you hear
the
me?
question was, please?
I said, should I be a member of BCS?
Basically, Noza's asking, should she be a member of BCS to basically get the mentoring service? I think you have to be.
Yeah, I think you have to be, yes.
Yeah. And of course, you can all attend the June event in person as well. You never know, Noza. You might speak to someone there, network. You never know. It works wonders. Your next job might be through this event, so you never know. Perfect. Any more questions?
I've got one. I've mentioned in my talk that as an ally, I'm happy to help. I mean, I'm happy to help women develop careers as testing as well as tech, and as well, I've always looked to encourage female STEM progression since I've been involved with BCS. What advice would you give me in order to help encourage more women to develop careers as testers, and how can I make the Tester magazine even better for you all as well, so that it inspires more women to develop careers as testers?
Sure.
And that's to everyone. That's to anyone.
Rafaela, would you like to take the question, or anyone else? How could Andy make the issue he posts every month, right? How can it be more engaging? How can it attract more testers to get involved? Like a wow factor that the issue could have.
To be honest, I don't know if I have the answer of this question, because I think it goes from their own interests as well. For example, I never thought about doing public speaking before, so but don't know. What do you think, Lavinia?
I mean, anything that can give information to new readers for the first time, that is good. Like anything, a nugget of information, like a saying or something from software testing, or maybe you came across a blog that month that really helped you to understand things, or how it could help someone else. I think just reposting it on your issue could help.
Okay.
Because then that person knows that they could reach out to that individual who's written it to speak more about, or just maybe if you come across anything around mentors and mentorship, it would be a good option as well. to
Yeah.
post
Thank you.
about that.
Actually, I just realized maybe if you want to create like a podcast or something like that and share and then bring like other people, like, you know, because this is gonna also motivate others to go and have this, you know, extra thing, sharing the knowledge and also, you know, helping others.
I think podcasts are really useful.
Yeah.
Andy, maybe something new project to take up on podcast.
Okay, cool.
Perfect. Joy has a question.
Hi, everyone. Sorry, I don't have a question, but I just wanted to, add on what Andy has just asked. So, practically, he was asking on how he can improve audience in messages or anything he shares, mostly on LinkedIn. Is that correct, Andy?
So, sorry, could you say again, please, Joy?
So I'm saying that you wanted to understand what you would do in order to engage more viewers on your tests or write-ups on LinkedIn. Is that correct?
That's one thing, but also making the tester which I produce more inspiring as well.
Okay, in my own, it's just, researching more and finding topics that people are more keen to engage on.
Okay.
So, you can make a research and find out on topics that will engage people in that area. Does that make sense? Like sort of testing, software testing.
Yeah.
What topics will really people engage on? And again, share more on groups that involve testers as well. And get some quotes that talk about testing, and that might be.
Thank you.
Have engaging conversations
Thank
through
you.
your.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks, Joy. Yes,
Thank
Luz.
Hello, good afternoon. So sorry, I know it's a little bit different the topic, but in my place I am not working in IT. I used to work in a charity, and I create a workshop for Be Digital Model Latino community. And right now I am planning to reopen it like a volunteer. That is a project for help the was in a Latino charity in London. Was a Latin American Disabled People Project. I worked there for help to be digital the organization, but I see in a lot of Portuguese and Spanish speakers community, and more the older people, because after COVID all was more digital and they don't have the skills, and there is so many companies or like so many things digital in that country. And I create a workshop for like a small workshop, and that was a little bit bigger, to help the people to be digital, and they can use her own phone for like use the Gmail, something very easy. And I am planning, because my time in the charity finished, and I am planning to restart that here, like by myself, because I have a group of around 50 persons. Was in the charity was around in 2 years was around 700 people, more older women plus 50 years, the majority of that. And I want to ask, because you work in IT, what will be the best way to help the older people, or not only Spanish and Portuguese speakers, but the people who need more that digital bridge, like how help them with I don't know, different apps or different programs online, because I create like a more workshop for the daily tasks for every person, like simple things for help the be more independent with the digital life in London. Sorry, I know
Okay.
it's very different,
Yeah.
but I want Sylvia, who is the who managed the community center here in the city, one community center in the city. She sent me that link and she told me, because we are planning to I am planning to restart that courses in that community center in London, in here close to Aldgate, and I don't know. I want to if they
So
can.
are you asking how to basically advertise what you're trying to do, or are you asking how to
No,
basically help people with the digital knowledge?
yeah, if right now already I have like a 50 people in a WhatsApp group from different places of London, but it's more what is the if like the basis for help that people to be more digital. Like if I can, it's better to follow some statements or some things
Yeah,
or
I
what.
mean,
Yeah. Mhm.
I would suggest if they're software testers, for example, or they want to get into software testing, then obviously, as the speakers were saying, try and follow community leads, try and attend meetups, conferences, and also Loose BCS has a conference in summer, June. It's free, so you could encourage the 50 people to see if they want to attend. It's all digital, obviously. It's going to be all sorts of topics as well. So could be interest. Obviously, the latest topic, AI, will be spoken about as well. So yes, I mean, you have to let them know that they have to try and find whatever area in tech they like, and basically try and find the right fit for them in there. So say for example, like Noza said, she wants to be a business analyst because she has the knowledge for what a business analyst does. I'm not sure if in the 50 people you're working with, if they're 100% sure if what a business analyst is, or what a software tester is, or what a developer is 100%, right? So I think helping them by giving them the right knowledge is one, providing them the right platforms to develop their skills is two, and also just staying up to date with the technology and the stacks that are going around. As I said, software testing is one thing that I really love, because you don't have to be 100% technical. You don't have to be 100% business acumen related. It's a good mix of both. And now you decide whether you'd like to focus more on the business acumen side of things, the test automation side of things, or you want a bit of a mix of everything. So I call it like, it's your canvas, you paint it. So this is what they need to understand as well, that there is support out there, and it's just how to utilize it and utilize it for their benefit. So I would definitely welcome you to the conference, because I think it will be useful to learn from.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. I also second what Lavina says as well. So one reason I like testing as well, one reason I think testing is a good career for everybody. It's painting your own canvas as well, but you're also growing your own career how you want to as well. So and it's sort of seeing what works for you as well, and for your colleagues. The BCS also has a number of other conferences as well going on around the year as well, depending on what your interests are as well. If it's sort of like cybersecurity or business analysis or learning and development, you've got some really good conferences with those specialist groups as well. And a lot of information will be found on the main BCS website as well. But for testing, I love testing because I can be creative. I can have a play around the software and explore it. And exploratory testing is one thing which I'm a huge advocate as well, and which I really enjoy as well, because I can just have a play around with software, see how it can break. However, I'd say find what works for yourself, and and your colleagues what works for them as well, because every journey is going to be different.
Thank you so much for the information.
No problem.
Yeah.
Oops, can't hear you, Lavina.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Luz, for that question, and hope to see you at the event in June. As I don't see any more questions, I am happy to call it the end to this webinar. I hope you took a lot of knowledge with yourself today, the speakers amongst themselves as well, and myself as well. I understood quite a lot of things that I could do differently or add to my bucket list to work on as well. So thank you very, very much. A happy International Women's Day to all of you, and we shall see each other at some conference potentially in the future.